Alrighty, so I am just going to get straight into this video. Hello everybody, I am Lovey. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe as you're all coming in. And before we officially get started, I do want to announce that I am launching a subscription box. Are you into beauty and skincare? Purchase your Foxy box today. We offer a variety of products, makeup, skincare, bath and body, and also accessories. If any of these products interest you, head over to thefoxybox.co and check out our website. Today, I want to talk about the infamous Jessica X. She's, in layman terms, the king of the manosphere, queen of the manosphere, however you'd like to address her. And I'd like to talk about some of the arguments that she makes specifically against divesting. Truthfully, it was the last video for me, her spinoff of Who They Really Choose from Cynthia G. It was kind of funny. So let's talk about it. First, though, let's talk about a little bit about who Jessica X is. She is a live streamer here on YouTube. And she mainly does content catered towards men in the manosphere. She makes a lot of videos a little bit similar to some other content creators, where it's mainly just reactions to other videos and response videos to other YouTubers. And her audience is mainly Black men in the manosphere. So she very much caters to their needs and what they want to hear. And of course, that involves a lot of bashing of Black women and criticizing them to basically a pulp. But this video that I'm talking about now is about her video, essentially who Black women really choose. And it was a little bit of a compilation of videos which essentially showed women being abused, verbally, physically, which is not at all the type of content that Cynthia G posts when she does her compilations of who Black men really choose. She's making fun of these women, yes, like she'll talk about like, oh, like that woman is so fat and ugly and like that's your Stargate, like that's your Snow Bunny, that's who you're so in love with, okay, but what Jessica X did was highlight abusive relationships. And essentially, her main argument for her video was men of other races are mean and abusive too. They lie and cheat and do bad things too. And her running line was, oh, when I date out, I don't have these issues. And Asian men don't do this. And white men don't do this to me and that and that and that. And like, duh. But I found it funny because this is not at all what anyone who opposes interracial relationships, at least for the most part, like when they're mocking them or making fun of them, I'm not highlighting white women getting like beat up and essentially laughing about it, and that was my first issue that I took with it. But my biggest issue with it, was simply that she was almost making it seem like, oh, like, Black men aren't the only abusive ones. Like, duh, we know there's crappy men in every race. Like, so I'm not really sure what point she was trying to make. But I mean, I guess she did it because she was trying to prove a point that Black women are the issue and that they act stupid, like regardless of who they're with. I'm assuming that was her entire argument, and her entire basis of what she was going for was that, like, oh, these Black women are the problem. It doesn't matter who they date or who they're with. They're going to cause issues and they're always going to pick abusive people. So Black men don't feel bad if they stop dating you and start dating abusive white men. And it makes no sense to me because it's like, obviously, someone who has a history of abusive relationships is not just going to suddenly stop having abusive relationships. If you're in an abusive relationship, regardless of what race that person is, you're probably like the next person who you date is probably going to be equally or more abusive because that's what you're used to. So it was a baseless argument, and it was a little bit, in my opinion, like I said, just mocking women in abusive relationships, and that isn't it. I'm not really with that, and I had a huge issue with it. Like, if you're gonna make arguments against Black women divesting and dating out, please use more valid ones and not mock people who are in abusive relationships, whether they're also the abuser too. Like, obviously there can be two abusers in a relationship, okay? You guys can both be beating each other's butts, okay? It happens. But I don't think that if you're going to be making arguments against divesting, that your first argument or your main points against Black women divesting is that, oh, you get your ass beat when you go to other races too. So what does it matter what race you date, is essentially the gist that I got from her video. So really, I'm here to do a very similar thing. And one thing I'm going to say is that some of this stuff might be a little bit like difficult to watch. Just first and foremost, some of this stuff might be a little bit difficult to watch. It's not very, I don't like to watch abusive things. I really don't. I'm not into that sort of content, but she was really making a lot of points like, oh, Black men are the most abusive type. Oh, I thought Black men were so abusive and so mean and so this and so that. Like, they are, honey. And many men in other races are as well. So I'm not really like, if you'd like me to showcase abusive men, I can do just that. I can do that just fine. So I'm gonna show a couple clips. I really just want you guys to see. Because one thing that I notice about Jessica X is she absolutely loves to to kiss the behind of these men and really cater to them and really emphasize the fact that, like, you're not the problem, Black men, it's all Black women. And one other thing that I find very funny is the simple fact that she seems to take no issue with Black men dating out. The issue seems to be that it's Black women who are dating out, for whatever strange reason that is. So I'm gonna pull up some articles and let's just talk about it, okay? Alrighty, so this what is this? This title is called Colorado teen who volunteered at animal shelter is beaten to death in parking lot. And let's see if they have a video. But it's okay. We're going to go ahead and read it anyway. As a longtime animal lover, 18-year-old Danielle Hopton spent her free time working at a local animal shelter and helping her dad raise guide dog puppies for the blind. But on February 6th, a recent high school graduate's life was cut short when she was beaten to death, allegedly by an ex-boyfriend, say police. Described as a gorgeous, loving, kind, and caring young woman, Hopton was always smiling and laughing. She was always asking how you were doing and just genuinely cared about others. She was such a selfless and caring person. The alleged domestic violence came to light on February 6 when Fort Collins police received a 911 call about an unconscious, injured woman in the parking lot of 525 East Drake Road, and the department says in the release. So this is Danielle Hopton, and let's see if the picture of Stephen McNeil will pop up. If not, then darn it, I guess I can just Google a picture of him. But this is a Black man who did this to his girlfriend, his beautiful Stargate white girlfriend. And I wanted to highlight this because they are a young couple. And it's just, right here, I'm trying to show that it doesn't really matter what age these people are, okay? Like, these men are going to be horrible regardless of age. He's only 20 years old. And he beat her to death. Beat her to death. This was February 15th, 2021. So the day after Valentine's Day, this was written. This is a very recent act. Unfortunately, everything's not very much loading how I want it to because we're on a live stream. Oh, there it goes. There goes his face finally loading. Maybe it'll load it down here. No? Okay. Well, I guess they're not going to load the video for me. But nonetheless, this is a presumably biracial or just light-skinned Black man, unsure. However, he beat his girlfriend to death. Alrighty. And now, let's watch another video. This one is of a Black couple. Both people in the relationship are a Black person. This was April 2018, and a man beats his girlfriend because she ran out of gas. So let's read. Actually, I think they have a video here as well. So let's look at that. Let's watch this video together, guys. If it will allow me to. Goodness gracious, live streaming is not being my friend right now. Please load for me. I'd appreciate it. Sign up now. No, I'll pass on this for now. Thanks. Just want to watch the video. If you'll allow me to. Oh, goodness. Oh, there it goes. Alrighty, so this is the video. Let's play it. If it would load, goodness gracious. Why aren't you loading? You're upsetting me. Don't do that. I don't like that. I don't want to have to read another article. I would like to just be able to watch the video.
Who were here at the 7-Eleven gas station? Who were here at the 7-Eleven gas station on Sunday night described Tyree Johns as a monster.
Tyree Johns is his name. Okay. This was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, by the way.
They say he beat up his girlfriend and threatened them.
Oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Don't play games with me now. You were not doing this earlier when I tested everything. Act appropriately. Maybe let's start it from the beginning. I mean, I'm not really sure what 11 seconds is going to make. But let's try it. We're going to play? Yeah? Maybe?
Who were here at the 7-Eleven gas station on Sunday night described Tyree Johns as a monster. They say he beat up his horrifying cell phone video shows the moment a man violently beat his girlfriend inside a 7-Eleven.
She was screaming, help me, help me.
Albuquerque police say Tyree Johns started punching his girlfriend in the face after she ran out of gas. They showed up at this 7-Eleven on Tramway and Copper to fill up, but police say things got worse. People who were watching say when the woman tried getting out of the car, Johns ripped her shirt off, making her naked from the waist to up. But still, she ran into the 7-Eleven on Tramway and Copper, and he chased after her.
When I looked over the counter, she was behind the counter on the floor, and he was like, pulling her by her hair, picked her up and dropped her, was telling her to get up, let's go.
Jeffrey Baca and others tried to step in to help. Stop it! But Johns threatened them.
Said a couple times, like, I'm gonna kill you, or, you know what I mean? A few times, and I feel like he had an intent to kill her.
Baca says they were all traumatized. He says one employee hid in the freezer and another was struggling to call the police.
He was trying to call 911, and he's just like trying to hold his phone, and he's like dropping the phone.
Baca says the couple eventually left the store. Johns tried forcing the woman to drive.
I remember her saying like she couldn't see because she was so bloody everywhere.
Alrighty, and we're gonna stop that one there. So, those were two fairly yikes articles, and I want to talk about this because those were just two very disturbing and not so fun clips to watch. Do we agree? I hope that we can all agree that that's not something that either of us really want to, that any of us really want to see. And I know that the first thing that a lot of you guys are going to say is, oh, but you're just showing Pookies and Ray Rays, and that's not the majority of Black men. We're not all abusive. We're not all this. We're not all that. And I didn't say that you were, but I'm proving a point here that Black men are fairly abusive, okay? So trying to make the argument that, oh, other races of men are abusive too, like, yes, we know, but as a collective, I think we can all agree that Black men are fairly abusive and treat women very horribly. Alrighty, so let's show another video. Oh, I don't think I added, but I think we all know fairly well, I think we've all heard of it at this point, of the Black man who essentially murdered 4 of his girlfriend's family members over a stimulus check. So, I'm sure everybody's heard about this. Can you guys hear me all right? I stopped seeing my little microphone going. For the people in the chat, if you can hear me already, go ahead and drop a 1 for me, please, just so I can be sure that everything is still going how it should be. So I'm going to take a pause really quick just to make sure that everything's working how it should. Alrighty. So yes, I'm pretty sure we've all seen the video. We've all read the articles. Alrighty, great. Thank you, Marina. I think we've all seen the videos about how that Black man murdered 4 of his girlfriend's family members over her stimulus check. I thought that I had added the clip in there, but I guess I hadn't. But it's okay. We've all heard it. I don't really want to watch the video anyway. I've watched it enough. And essentially, the reason why I'm showing all these is because we can do these conflated arguments, okay? Obviously, Black men aren't all these types of people. They're not all murderers. They're not all killers. They're not all violent. My point is simply, if you're going to make arguments against Black women dating out, use better examples, not ratchet and unearthly women. Because we've all seen these violent videos multiple times. Have we or have we not? We've seen too many videos of Black people, male or female, being just outlandishly violent. Okay? And that, like, let's make some better arguments. We can make better points to, like, go against, like, you know, the opposing views that don't involve, like, showcasing and mocking abuse victims. That's not something that I like to do at all, and it's weak arguments, because abuse is abuse across the board. And we all know that if you're in one abusive relationship, it's very likely that your next will also be abusive. So trying to make the argument, oh, they go to other races of men and still get their ass beat, like, duh, because she's programmed to like those types of people. She's programmed to attract those types of people. Obviously, that's the type of person she's going to get, regardless of what race that man is, okay? So I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you some pretty decent arguments against Black men divesting, and why I feel like no matter what, like, no matter who they go to, they're still going to be in shitty positions. Let's start with Dan Gasby. Okay, he was the husband of B. Smith. This woman was nearing the end of her battle with Alzheimer's, and instead of being at his wife's side until she passed, what did he do? He snuck away and eventually brought in a white woman named Alex, who subsequently left him after she took all that she could. Even on B. Simone's deathbed, he could not be loyal to his woman. Okay? The white woman had him so infatuated that he could not even stand to hold on to his wife, the little bits of her that he could, for her last living years, her last living moments. How selfish and entitled and full of yourself do you have to be to leave your dying wife, whose brain day by day forgets how to walk, how to hold a fork properly? She doesn't even remember what happened yesterday. Eventually, her brain's gonna forget, oh, wait, I have to make the heart pump, and she dies. That's how Alzheimer's works. Forgets how to send the neurons off to make your body do what you need to do and get you through your day to day. And he couldn't even stay with his woman through that until she passed. Because apparently she was just so far gone. Why was she so far gone? Because you didn't try to get her help sooner. He noticed very early on, there were signs very early on that this woman was suffering from early Alzheimer's. And what did he do? Nothing. Probably was cheating on her then as well. Money. Obviously, he married her, so he kind of married into money, but nonetheless, a fairly wealthy man. And instead of spending the money to help his wife, to get her the best treatments, to give her the best experiences until she dies, he goes and spends his money on a white woman who ended up leaving him. He said, she just left. Yeah, she left because she probably was like, okay, yeah, that was really messed up and it was fun for the ride, but what if I get Alzheimer's? You're going to leave me too. Like, what the hell? Alrighty, Trey Songz. Let's talk about Trey Songz. Alrighty, he's been spitting in women's mouths, cussing people out, and just overall acting all types of whirly. Like, personally, I think he's doing it all because he's only qualified to do remixes, or maybe it's because he was just a crappy man who will always be a crappy man. And I'm glad that all this stuff about him is coming out because even I, as a little girl, was obsessed with Trey Songz. I couldn't get enough of Trey Songz. But as an adult, I very much was just like over him. And the more that's coming out about him finally after all this time is just like, oh my gosh, you nasty. Like, oh my gosh, just out acting all types of outlandish. I truly can't. Alrighty, and let's talk about Tyrese. A straight mess of a man. Oh my goodness. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Someone needs to pray over him because 1 second he's sobbing about his wife leaving him and taking the kids. And why does she want so much money and child support? And 2 seconds later, he's got a new girlfriend. Does that scream family man to you? Does that scream a man who values the relationship that he had with his wife? Like, a man who complains about upholding the lifestyle that he gave his children, even though his wife and him are no longer together. He loved her so much, loved the kids so much, and complains about having to give child support. Like, you gave your kids this lavish life. Like, are you really gonna divorce your wife and then have your kids, like, struggle to get by? Why would you want your ex-wife to struggle with your children? That's because you don't really care about your kids. That's because you don't really care about your wife. That was all about status for you. That was all about the facade for you, because if it was, you wouldn't have such an issue upholding your children's lifestyle, the lifestyle that you gave them. And y'all can be like, oh, the ex-wife's gonna use it all for herself. honey, it still is going towards keeping those kids' lifestyles as normal as they were before the divorce, okay? You can't just take kids from super rich to super poor and think that they're gonna be okay. No, they're gonna end up hating their dad and probably resent their mom because why would you leave my dad? We had such a great life. And hate their dad because why would you just stop taking care of us and providing for us? Like, what? That doesn't scream someone who cares about their family. Again, another black man who totally disregards his family and his community, his people, even his own family, his own blood. Like, that's a quality black man to you? Like, let's talk about it. That man dated out. His girlfriend, Latina or something like that, couldn't even take care of his Maria. was crying because he didn't want to give her no money to take care of the kids. But ridiculous. And the reason why I brought that up is because I thought that y'all all said non-black women were so much better. So much better. We're desired by every race of people. Okay? Women of other races appreciate us. When I go to Dominican Republic and I go to Colombia, they love me. Okay? Okay, really. They love you? Let's talk about this video then. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Where is it at? Here we go. Let's do this one. Hopefully the video will load because I'm going to be really... Okay, hello guys. Sorry, they just totally kicked me out of my own live stream. No, truthfully, this is something that I do want to show. As a divested American Black woman, I can honestly say that Jessica can stay out our issues. Exactly. Another thing that I want to talk about is like, how do you have such an issue with interracial relationships and you're literally the offspring of one? Like, it doesn't, it literally blows my mind. Like, is it only an issue when Black women do it? And I'm going to get there. Girl, Jessica needs to stay on her side of the pond. Thank you. But, oh goodness, let me show you guys the video now that my stuff is working again. How do I do this? I totally forgot how to share. Oh, there it goes. Alrighty, share screen. Share audio. This is why divested Black women need to protect their spaces. Definitely we need to protect our spaces because we let anyone and everyone in and then have the nerve to complain when someone says something to us or someone takes issue with our points, because we allow everyone to come in here and say whatever. And I'm sorry, other people's opinions. I don't want her opinion. Sorry. Let's watch the video.
Other alleged victims have reached out to her. They've also contacted authorities. This is what unfolded inside a local restaurant last week.
Oh my God.
The contents of this cell phone video too shocking and explicit to play in its entirety, but the person reporting, Hong Lee, captured a terrifying encounter with a customer inside El Torino's restaurant last Monday. She stopped in to grab lunch when she says this patron asked her to dine with him. She politely declined and couldn't believe what happened next. A barrage of verbal attacks, both racial and sexual.
I'm sorry, can you help me? I'm getting very abused. We were all just shocked that this was happening. And so I was just reaching out for help. And so my instinct was to ask for help from the people around me.
Lee, who was inside the restaurant by herself and too afraid to leave, called a friend on the phone, sobbing in disbelief. You hear either a customer or an employee in the background trying to de-escalate the situation, but things got even worse.
My name is Frederick Douglass Smith.
Lee said this customer starts.
This man straight tells on himself, says his government name while she's recording him berating her. How stupid you got to be to do that? How slow and just emboldened do you have to feel to cuss a woman out for not sitting at lunch with you and then say your government name, Mr. Frederick? Like, what did you... You're asking to get caught. You're asking to get fired from your job. You're asking for a lot of things. You're asking for the police to come find you, sweetheart. Why would you say your whole name and think that you were going to get away with this? Because Black men are highly emboldened and have this, like, oh my God, overly, this, oh gosh, can't even talk because that's it's just so, it baffles me. Like, someone explain the buffoonery to me because I don't understand. How highly of yourself do you have to think to feel like you're above anyone to just say your government name and think that you're not going to get in trouble for anything? You think like you're not going to get blasted on the news or the internet, or the police aren't going to come to your door. Like, verbally assaulting this woman just because she didn't want to sit at lunch with you. But let's continue.
Starts approaching her again in a violent manner, blurting out not just a name, but what he said was his social security number and date of birth, even daring police to come after him.
Can you help me, please? This is getting really scary.
Nobody gonna help you. Please take this in front of me.
Lee eventually left the restaurant and immediately filed a police report with the LAPD as a possible hate crime. We confirmed with detectives they are investigating, but they provided few details on Sunday.
I also heard from LAPD that there's a significant increase in the amount of hate crimes, especially against Asians, since the pandemic started. And
so this is recent as well. Wow.
Are not reported.
After sharing her story on social media, Lee soon learned there was another alleged victim, this mother who didn't want to reveal her name, but says she also had a violent encounter with the same man seen in Lee's video at a bus stop last July.
You don't forget his stare.
And there he goes again, Mr. Frederick.
His voice. I immediately knew. It was chills down my body as soon as I saw that video.
This alleged victim who was waiting for the bus that day with her child said that man approached her, trying to engage her in a conversation. She claims when she blew him off, he began hurling racial insults at her, making disgusting sexual comments, even allegedly threatening her with violence.
But I thought that it's only white men who look at other women, who look at Black women as like just sex, and when they don't get their way, that's why they degrade you. You know, Black men's favorite joke is, oh, don't come crying to me when he lynches you. Don't come crying to me when he's trying to make you his slave. But what did this Black man just do to two women of two entirely different races? What did he do to them? He berated them, called them racial slurs. Let's talk about it. Like, he wanted to get arrested. He probably missed his prison bail. Facts. Like, he's that slow. He's that stupid. And he's that full of himself where he really thinks that he's not going to get caught for any of the things that he does. And he did it twice. Sarah. Like, come on, guys. This just, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. Like, the comedy writes itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's truly comedic. Like, it's truly comedic. So, let's talk about Jessica X. Let's get back to talking about Jessica X. This woman, she doesn't do anything but validate sad, lonely men's egos. And by all means, like, get your money, okay? Like, if this is how she gets her money, like, do your thing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do, what you want. Like, if that, I don't know. This woman is either the mother of all man children, or she's literally another biracial woman taking advantage of men who view her as perfection. And truthfully, I think it's both. I think that she loves the validation that she gets from Black men. And sometimes I think that she doesn't really actually believe some of the stuff that she says, but she says it because that's what her audience feels. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it or paid attention to it, but there was one video that she made where she actually called out baby daddies and how they need to stop leaving their children fatherless. And her entire audience switched on her and just berated her, like ganged up on this perfect British sophisticated woman, like whose logic is undefeated. She's so smart. If more Black women were like this, I would date them. I wish I was closer to you, Jessica X, because you're so smart and understanding. She's so feminine. She's so great. Why do you hate her now that she's calling you out, though? Is it because you're a baby father, though? Is that why? Because logic surely wasn't undefeated when she called you guys out. You guys were doing your best to try to beat her logic and tell her that she's wrong and why are you doing this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And if my service was better, I'd truthfully try to show the video of that too, but I'm really not in the mood to mess up the live stream any more than it already is. But Jessica X, like, please come up with with better arguments to dissuade us from moving on, because these interracial couples arguing aren't giving me anything. I'm sorry. Everybody argues. Everybody gets into it. Like, and as I said earlier, if you have a history of abusive relationships, it's only a matter of time before you get with another abusive person. And sometimes abuse victims will get with people who are not abusive and self-sabotage to try to get abused because that's what they're used to. Okay? And it blows my mind. Like, that was her best argument, was, look at this Asian man beating her ass. Like, they're really fist fighting. Yes, they're fist fighting. Like, they're going ones. They're obviously very angry at each other. They're obviously very upset with each other and need to work some stuff out, okay? But showcasing abusive relationships and then laughing at sad women who are getting their ass beat makes you look very bad. Because let you get your ass beat. You don't want nobody laughing at you. You would hate to get your ass beat, and instead of people sympathizing with you and being like, oh my gosh, like, that's so horrible, that man is so, like, messed up, we're laughing at you and saying, ha ha, that's what you get, ha 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 ha. You thought it was so cute and fun, and now look at you getting your ass beat. Like, you wouldn't like that, regardless of who you're with. So let's be a little bit more mindful of the way that we speak to people. But you obviously don't really have that. One thing that let me just say how I feel about Jessica X. At first, I was a little nervous about talking too much about her, but I wish she would make a response video. Go ahead. But I want to talk about how she don't really be wanting no smoke. And that's exactly why she made that one video about Black men being baby daddies and never talked about it again. Because she doesn't really want to have these real discussions. She's trying to keep her audience happy, okay? Whenever people really call her out for things, she starts getting really quiet. She'll start reading super chats, like literally cut people off in the middle of their argument, talking about, oh, we got a super chat from blah, 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 blah. And it always just so happens to be a super chat making fun of the person who she's debating at the moment. All those comments down there, and you don't ever read any that are opposing your views. Ever. You only read the comments, or you only read the super chats when it's convenient for you, or you read the super chats when you need to overtalk somebody because they're getting to a real point. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Blah 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 said da 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 da. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, and Dusty 3.5 said, oh, she's so da 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 da, ha 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 ha, thank you for the super chat. The second someone starts making real points. And that's part of the reason why I haven't gone on there to say anything to her. And another reason is just because there's nothing to really talk about, girl. Like, you're literally the offspring of an interracial relationship. You're the last person who should have an issue with interracial relationships. And that's why I'm convinced it's only an issue when it's black women. That's the only thing that makes sense, because your dad's black and your mom's white. So what's the problem? You have such an issue with interracial couples, but I don't see you showing the videos that I just showed of a black man beating his girlfriend, or of the black man degrading an Asian woman and a Hispanic woman just a couple months apart. Like, it makes no sense. So if the issue is black women dating out, just say that. Just say that the only people who you have an issue with dating out are black women. And then I want you to explain why that is. And like, please give some valid reasons besides, oh, they get their ass beat when they go to other relationships, because black men abuse other women too, regardless of what race they get with. So what's the point? Black women get abused regardless of what relationship they're in, and black men abuse regardless of relationship they're in. Okay. So I also want to talk about a couple of studies that I found. So did I skip any pages? Nope, I didn't. Alrighty. According to a 2005 study specifically on anger and aggression between white and blacks, it was concluded that blacks have higher rates of aggression and anger. So I'll take my chances with an Asian dude. And then another study showed even the higher educated black men, because y'all love to say this is just the Pookies and Ray Rays. That is your favorite. Oh, you guys only want Pookies and Ray Rays, and you guys always choose them and then wonder why you're in the situations that you're in. This study showed that even the higher educated blacks, I'm talking bachelors and above, still showed a lot of anger and low impulse control. The reason for that being was because they felt like they weren't getting a return on their investment for their education. They went to school for X amount of years, but they feel like they're still not in a high position. They've been working at company for X amount of years, X amount of months, and they haven't gotten a raise or a promotion of any sorts. And that upsets them. And the reason that they equivalent to why they didn't get the promotion, didn't get the job, didn't get the raise is racially driven, as opposed to white counterparts who were asked, why do you think you didn't get the position? And it's never about race for them. But the first thing that black men say, even the higher educated ones, is, oh, they didn't hire me because I'm black. Have you thought to think maybe you just didn't have the qualifications? Have you thought maybe they just weren't that interested in you? Maybe they saw some better candidates. Maybe you didn't impress them enough. Like, you know, you have to wow these people at these bigger companies. You can't just come in with your degree and think that you're going to get the job. No, the job that I have now, I'm a tutor. I'm sure there were plenty of people who could have gotten that job, but I got the job because I really impressed these people. They really liked what I said. They really liked that I'm almost bilingual. I speak English, and I'm also a B1 level in French. So I had a lot of expertise on English and how to teach a language, how to speak a language. I showed them my scores from my English, and I've always had great English scores. I've never ever had an issue with it, and I got the job. And I'm proud of myself because I qualified for it, and I really tried my best to showcase my best. And if I hadn't gotten the job, I would not have said, oh, they didn't hire me because I was black. Like, no, I would have said, okay, maybe someone had an entire English degree and not just really good English scores and learning another language, you know? Maybe there was something that another candidate brought to the table that I did. I've never been rejected from a job, and actually I don't even think I've really been rejected by too many like good jobs. Most of the like good jobs I applied for, I get. So but nonetheless, like, I've never been rejected for a job and been told and thought that it was because of my race. I've never, gotten in trouble at work and thought that it was because of my race. But black men continuously believe that everything is about race and everyone's against them because they're black. So let's go back to the study about I think that was all the notes I wrote about it. Was goodness gracious, I was kind of writing these while I was during my last couple minutes of work before I left. But yeah, the study showed that even higher educated blacks still showed a lot of anger and low impulse control and attributed a lot of their issues to race. So again, I will take my chances with a white guy because at least he's not wallowing in self-pity and crying about, oh, I didn't get the job because I'm black. Like, and I'm pretty sure if my fiance hadn't gotten the job that he got now, he would not have attributed not getting that job to being Black, because there's plenty of African people who work at his job. Black wouldn't have been the reason as to why he didn't get the position. So yeah, essentially, I really just feel like anti-divestors need to figure out stronger arguments, because this one was really easy to shut down. Stop doing the conflated arguments. Use more valid ones. Like, you could have even picked like Halle Berry as an example as to why Black women shouldn't divest, because now she's crying about having to pay her husband X amount in child support and alimony. Like, that would have been a good example. But you didn't pick that because your debate skills are highly weak. And it's unfortunate. It really is. So let's talk about this comment here. She said, I can tell you, sometimes mixed people are the most self-hating. And that is something that I would agree with. I definitely would agree with that statement. Solely based off the fact that I think that they have a lot of identity issues. And most times, Cynthia G made a really good point, is that most times these biracial people are raised by their white mothers. So a lot of them don't have that connection with their black side. They're not taught about their culture. They're not, it's hard for them to accept all of who they are if they only have half of the picture. You can't really put context clues together when you only have like half context. If there's not a full sentence, you don't really know what that person's saying. So I think it's really important for mixed people to really go in and find themselves. And I don't know, it kind of seems like she knows a little bit about her culture because her dad is African. I believe she said he's Nigerian. I can't remember of which tribe exactly, but yeah, I've been lurking on her page for a while. Not gonna lie, I just wanted to get a good idea of who she was before I really tried to like make a video about her. And I feel like I've really gotten her down to the fact that she just caters to her audience, and I can't tell the reasoning behind it. I really can't tell. She's just here for a bag, and she just talks out the side of her neck for laughs and attention, or if she truly believes the things that she says, and that she truly believes that these men are like heaven sent or something. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to add anything. Like, we can definitely talk about it. If there's any other topics that you want me to touch on, like, and talk about, I definitely can. But those were all my notes that I wrote as far as Jessica X and her weak arguments against divesting. Yeah. Actually, one thing I will say, just in general, about a lot of these commentary channels is that a lot of them don't have very good debate skills. They're not coming on here with coherent arguments. They're kind of just like coming on the live stream and talking. And I don't know, I've never been good at that. I've never been one to just hop on any sort of anything and just talk. Like, I'm very much like, I want my notes, I want my research, I want to know what I'm talking about and what I'm saying, so that I'm not just like talking. And I think that's one of the issues that she has, and that's why it's really like, her channel doesn't really make that much sense to me, because she essentially just goes on about, I don't know, minute things. And the one time that she did try to dig deep again, it was towards her own audience, and they turned on her. So yeah, that was really how I felt about this. Let's see if there's anything else we can talk about. I advise you to stay away from Black men in the South. I think I showed this a little earlier, but I didn't end up reading it. The dust is the same, and I'm from Brazil. So I mean, I guess, what's your experience with that? Like, let's see, maybe we can like drop a thing if you'd like to come on here and talk. We definitely can do that as well. Do. Excuse me. So yeah, if any of you guys would like to join the live stream, I just dropped the link. And yeah, it'd be interesting to hear about your views about dating in those areas, because a lot of Black men really want to go to Brazil and Colombia and just South America in general and find wives out there. Somebody said the biggest donation she gets is from white guys. Does she now? Wow. I didn't actually know that. Is that like an often thing, or was this just like on her most recent stream? Is something that I'm curious to know about. Because as far as Black men who subscribe to her and who watch her content, I wouldn't be surprised if men of other races as well are watching her content, but yeah, I feel like a lot of her biggest supporters, at least, not even donations, I guess, but her biggest supporters are Black men, because I don't know why, but for some reason it's just like they get a real adrenaline rush out of hearing Black women getting degraded and spoken badly or spoken ill of. And they really, like, we're always like the butt of every joke, and it's not even in a funny way. And that's, I think, the biggest issue that I have with this video. You could have done this in a very, like, if you were gonna try to like make a joke out of the like who Black men really choose, you could have been funny about it, like how Cynthia G is. Okay, you could have been really like comedic about it and just made fun of how they date ugly, funny looking white boys and whatnot, but instead you decided to go and like laugh at abuse victims. And I'm gonna say it again and again and again, because that is a problem. You should not find comedy, like real life, like diaphragm laughs, like from the stomach laughs of women getting beat up. Women having strollers ripped out of their hand with a baby in it. There's a baby in the stroller, and there was a video, and there was a baby in the stroller, and it was an Asian man and a Black woman, and the Asian man is literally trying to rip the stroller out of this woman's hand with the child in it, swinging it all over the place, just acting crazy, like just making a huge scene in front of all of these people. Give me my baby, give me my baby, give me my baby, he doesn't need to be with you, give me my baby, like. And instead of being like, wow, these Asian men are tripping, she's like, no, look who Black women choose, look at who she had a whole baby with. Like, girl, just 2, 3, 4 weeks ago you were talking about how all these dusties keep impregnating all these women and ditching them. Like, you can't go from calling out men for their shitty actions and then turn around and be like, oh, look who she decided to push out a baby from. Like, look who, like, what? He impregnated her. Like, shouldn't you be like, wow, he's crazy, how do you nut in her, and then start tossing your baby stroller around like the kid's not in it? Like, why was that? What? But I mean, I think it all just goes down to she's trying to cater to these men. And yes, WTF is right, Poseidon. She's inconsistent. She is inconsistent because she doesn't have a real argument. Like I said, she's here to cater to people. You can't go from calling out baby daddies to then going back to blaming the women. Like, which one is it? But the reason why she did that, the reason why she only made that one video, as far as I can tell at least, made that one video calling out men for their actions, she got horrible backlash from it. When I say these men like really degraded her, like her entire audience like switched on her that night. That live stream, go through those comments. Like, she was being berated. Just straight, like nobody was messing with her. Nobody was with it. Nobody. Let me try to find the video actually on my phone. I'm not going to be able to show it on the whatchamajiggity boom boom because because I'm going live and I just don't have time for the stuff to keep going in and out every 2 seconds. But I will try to find the video and try to read some of the comments out for you. She did have to save her bag. She very much did have to save her bag. Because if she had continued to make those sorts of videos, I don't imagine that it would have worked well in her favor. I don't imagine that anyone would have continued to watch her if she had continued to make those types of videos. That it was like a one-time thing. Let me try to find the video. And I haven't seen her make a video ever since about the situation. So let's try to find it. It was not too long ago. But it was basically like baby daddies are just as bad as something, she said. Let me try to find it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let me try to find the video. Desperation of the sisterhood. Are black women walking away from black men? Why only date white men? My response. The protection of Chad Wheeler. Oh, she might have actually deleted the video. She actually might have deleted the video. I think that she actually deleted the video. She wouldn't want that well to run dry. She doesn't. She doesn't. And I'm looking here and I'm pretty sure that she deleted the video. Like, I don't see the video anymore. Why are black women mad at black men? Is swirling the way. Yeah, I'm not seeing the video. So maybe I'll scroll. Maybe it's a little later than I thought it would be. But I'm going to try to look for it for a little bit longer. But I've been watching her for quite some time now, and that video was very much on there. So let's see if we can find it. Oh, wow. Nope, it's not on here. Oh, my gosh. She cleaned up her channel, and oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah, the video gone. The video's gone. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, the video's gone. She deleted it. But it was, or maybe she just privated it. I'm not sure. But, oh, yeah. Oh, damn. That sucks. That sucks. That sucks because she very much made the video. Oh, that. I feel like that's how bad the video was. That's how bad of a response. That's called Cynthia cover your ass. CYA cover your ass. She very much did cover her ass. Hell yeah, she went through and yeah, nope. It's not on here anymore. Gosh, that's so annoying. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. She deleted the video. I wonder if anyone like saved it. Let's see if we can try to find it. But anyway, regardless, she made the video. I'm not tripping, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's followed her knows full and well that she made the video. And she probably wasn't getting very good comments on it even during the replay, so that's probably why she deleted it. Nobody was going for it. Like, nobody was going for it. Her entire audience drew. But one thing that I will say is the same thing happened with Kevin Samuels. He actually originally started making content when he first started his channel. His content actually was directed towards men. And he was talking about, how men need to improve and this and that and this and that. And he was not really growing when he was doing that sort of content. And the moment that he started degrading black women and calling women onto his show to, I guess, I don't know, rate them, figure out why they're single. Excuse me. That's when he started getting more popular. And just and that's when he started growing as a content creator. Oh wow, nobody saved the video of her. Wow. Alrighty. Anyway, nobody saved the video. She's not. I don't know if she's popping enough for people to be recording her live streams as they're going on. Obviously not, but regardless. Yeah, that's when Kevin Samuels finally started getting his clout and his recognition, was when he started calling black women onto the show and degrading them. And and I really just don't understand why people get so far. It doesn't matter what platform it's on. The degradation and having black women be the butt of jokes has been something that's been going on for, quite some time. And it's always sold. Why? I really don't know, but this idea has always sold. And the moment that it starts getting called out, people are like, oh, it's just a joke. Or they throw, oh, you guys talk about black men and make fun of black men and da-da-da-da-da. But like when we make fun of black men, we're like, when we make fun of black men, like they're valid reasons, like, or when, not even making fun, but when we criticize black men, they're valid criticisms. They're valid criticisms. Black men overall are not as educated. Overall, black men are fairly abusive and have a lot of issues emotionally. But the things that they say to black women are like, you're fat, you're ugly, you wear weave, and they'll even go as far as like making fun of a woman for having a degree. Like, how you make fun of someone with a college education? Like, when did that become something to mock? Like, when did education become like a joke? When did education become something that is like frowned upon and laughed at? Or is it funny because you don't have a college degree? Like, because that's what's funny to me. I think it's funny that you don't have a college degree. I don't understand what's so hilarious about me having one. Like, or is comedy the way that people cover up pain, and that's why you guys mock women with college educations? That one has always made me just chuckle a little bit, because it's like, I don't understand when higher education became something to frown upon and make fun of and make people feel bad about. Like, why would, like, if you don't have the money or the willpower to go through with a 8-year program, that's on you. That has nothing to do with me. Don't try to make me feel bad because you don't have a degree. Like the educated lame. Half of those educated lames barely got their associates. So I'm not really, it really doesn't make sense to me. And again, I'm gonna make a point that even the educated lames share some of these views and have the same like anger and aggression towards educated women. And truth, I think it really is just like an ego thing for a lot of men. Like, they just cannot stand that like a woman is doing something like, of value, and that she has more value than just her body or what she does in the home for you. And I think that it really messes with a lot of these men's heads because they just cannot understand why they're not in that position. Even with the what is it called? Goldman Sachs, I'm pretty sure is the name of the investment company. How they came out with this grant for black women to hire their educations. They had degrees but no drive. Oh, so essentially they got the degree but didn't use it. Oh, I know a couple of those. I know plenty of those. Oh goodness, I totally just forgot what I was saying while I was talking. Oh, the Goldman Sachs grant. Yes. Even with the Goldman Sachs grant, there's a lot of black men who take issue with this. $10 billion. Yes, $10 billion to put towards black girls, black women, and their education. And guess who's mad? Can you take a wild whopping guess who it is? Is it white women, black men, Asian men, or Hispanic women? Do 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 do. The answer is black men. Woo! So much to the point that they said, have your girl apply for the grant and then tell her to give you all the money that she gets from it so that you can build your community up and so that you can build your family and community up. But we know that they're not about to go do that. What they're going to do is probably kill their girl for their money, try to sue her for the money, or take the money and go spend it on a white girl, Hispanic girl, Asian girl, maybe even another black woman for all we know. Dang, I don't know. Go trick it out for somebody else. So black women, if you're going to go apply for this grant, do not tell your man that you're doing it. Don't tell him that you got the money. It is sick, Poseidon. It is sick that they are so hateful and jealous and envious that they said, tell your girl to apply for the grant and tell her to give you the money so that you can do something with it. I am praying for the safety of these Black women when they get this money. Me too. Because who knows how much you're actually going to get. And the last thing you need is your man going crazy on you because you didn't share the wealth with him. Because he has no motivation to go and get the wealth himself. Because he has no incentive, no real incentive aside from maybe sex. Like, I don't know. And also, I don't understand why you need such a major incentive to get stuff done. Their favorite argument is like, oh, well, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me? Maybe do it and figure it out. Maybe if you start doing something, I'll come up with some incentives for you. I can't come up with no incentives. I can't figure out how to praise you for what you've done when you haven't done anything. That's like, oh, well, if I take this test, are you going to give me an A? Well, take the test and see if you get an A. Take the test and we'll see. Okay? Stop asking me what I'm going to give you and what grade you're going to get and what am I going to get in return. Like, no. Like, at the school that I work at, the school that I work at, every Friday, like the children have like compliment, like a compliment party, you know? And if they do good the whole week, or for, I think it might be 2 weeks even, I'm not sure. But if they're good for the whole time, then they'll get their compliment party. And the compliment party is whatever, but they don't really necessarily know what the compliment party is until they get closer to the end goal. So once they get every single day, they get a good job from the teacher, at the end of whatever span it is, then like maybe a couple days before, the teacher will be like, okay, we're having our compliment party, make sure that you bring your stuffed animals, or we're having our compliment party, so make sure that, you know, you guys wear your pajamas to school. But the kids don't know what the incentive is going to be for them being good for X amount of days until that Friday. Okay, they just know that if I'm good, I'll get a compliment party. I don't know exactly what the party's going to be for, but we're going to get something, you know? And I think that's how a lot of men should think about it. Like, stop thinking about, oh, like, well, yeah, if I make this money and that money, like, then what am I going to get for it? No, just make the money and maybe you'll get something for it. Just be good, okay? I shouldn't have to tell you, oh, well, if you're good, I'll give you blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you pay all the bills, I'll give you sex. No, just know that if you should, it's implied, okay? If you take care of business, you're going to get rewarded for it. You do what you need to do at home, in this house, and when you go out there in the real world, you're going to get rewarded for it, okay? Stop sitting around and waiting for an incentive like, well, if I do this, will you give me a sticker? Just do it, and maybe I'll give you a sticker. That's exactly what I tell my children. Stop trying to negotiate with me and just do it. Stop trying to negotiate with me. Stop trying to, no, just do what I told you to do. And as they're reading, I'll pull out my sticker and put it on their notebook. Because just do what I'm asking you to do and you'll see. Just do what I told you, okay? Just pay the bills. And maybe she will cook for you and make sure that the house is sparkling clean when you get home. But do it first. Stop expecting stuff and you haven't even started the job. Like, it doesn't make any sense. He said, that's why I say burn the couches, protect yourselves. Hell yeah, protect yourselves. Don't tell a man anything about your money. Don't talk about your finances with your man. And if you do, keep it very, 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 very short. Okay? Don't tell him how much you make. Just know you get a paycheck every month or every week or every 2 weeks. Just know that I get a check. How much it is not your business. What I do with the money is not your business. The lights is on, right? Okay. Know that. Know that. If you want to know how much something is, ask how much my electricity is. Ask how much that water bill is. Stop asking how much I get for my check every week. So, yeah, don't talk about your money. I mean, to some degree, obviously, like, you know, if you guys are living together, I mean, I don't know everybody's situation. I'm not really one who's going to move in with somebody who's not paying any bills. Like, I can pay the bills by myself. So if you're going to move in with me, like, you're going to be able to cover all this, right? The electricity that it takes to run a house with 2 people in it. Because I'm not paying for that. You asked to move in. You said you wanted to move in with me. I didn't ask you to move in with me. So you should be able to take care of business if you're asking to move in with me or get a place with me. Like, you're going to be able to pay the bills at that place, right? Yeah. One thing that I will say is that I made it abundantly clear to my boyfriend, or to my fiance now, sorry, that, if we were going to live together and we were going to do this, that he was responsible for those house bills. He was responsible for making sure that the lights stayed on and that our rent was paid every month, because at the apartment I'm in, I actually thankfully don't have to pay water. So it's included. But yes, he's responsible for those things, and he was very aware of that upon moving in. And he has zero expectation of me paying those things, because I made it very clear from the jump that if you're going to move in with me and we're really going to do this, like, that's your responsibility. You need to make sure you have your money every month for that. Don't ask me to cover no bills. I'm not doing that. Like, I'll pay for groceries. Sometimes we'll split them. Sometimes I'll pay for them. It depends. But yeah, as far as the house itself is concerned, he pays for all this. I don't pay for none of this. And he gets rewards for it. Bless you. He gets rewards for it, okay? I make sure that I cook for him every single night. I make sure that I clean this house. I rinse out the tub for him. I I rinse out the tub for him when he gets off of work, so that he could just hop in the bath and relax. I'll make sure that I rub his little muscle aid stuff on his sore spots. Like, I'm good to my man because he takes care of business here at home. Okay? When you take care of business, you don't need to worry about what my girl's gonna do for me if I do this. He knows what I'm gonna do for him if he does it. Because the second he started doing it, I showed me, oh, well, if I pay bills, are you gonna do this and this and this for me? The stuff that I do for him, he didn't ask me to do none of that. I just decided, okay, when he comes home, I'm gonna make sure that the bathroom is nice for him so that he can just start his water and get in a tub. Okay, he works all day. He's at work right now. So that when he gets home, when he gets home, I make sure that everything is good for him here. The bed's made, it's all nice and comfortable. Okay, when you take care of your woman will take care of you. It's automatic. It's an exchange, and it's a given that when you take care of someone, they will take care of you back to some degree. Okay, he takes care of me financially, I take care of him emotionally and nutritionally. Travels of a Black Rose says she's checking hood chicks is like me going to a trailer park and trying to change those dopey white trash people, dumb as hell, disrespectful to you, and how they become that way, condescending and out of line. Oh, she's very condescending. And that's why I don't understand the notion that she's so classy and she's so composed and feminine and ladylike. Because if you listen to her as a lady myself, okay, I can hear the cattiness, the condescendingness, the sarcasm, and the irritation in her voice. Men may not be able to hear it because obviously we're not going to sit here and go on a live stream and start acting outlandish, because obviously that doesn't work for her, because her entire audience has convinced themselves that she's some goddess. So no, she can't go on debates and start checking people how she might on the street, or she can't talk as like loud and irritated and being like, you're not gonna da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Maybe she's not even like that, but regardless, she can't do that on a live stream, and she can't do that with the audience that she has, because then that would totally strip her away of her feminine poise, persona that she's given off to them. But I can definitely sense the cattiness, and the way that she speaks to people is like really condescending, like how I was speaking of earlier. The second that someone starts bringing up valid points and arguments against her, she starts reading super chats. She'll start reading just random comments, being like, oh, I have to read them because if I don't read them now, they're going to disappear. Okay, well, we're in the middle of a debate, girl. So the comments should be irrelevant to you. Okay, you open up the panel to have a debate, have a conversation. You don't interrupt someone in the middle of a conversation every 2 seconds to say, oh, hey, girl. Like, no, when you're at lunch and you're talking with your friend and someone who you know walks by, you don't interrupt them every single time. You don't interrupt your friend every single time they're talking to go say hi to Chad and this person and that person and this person and that person. You let that person talk and you have the discussion with the person who you're having a discussion with. Okay? I feel like it's her way of deflecting and like just kind of trying to like take the edge off of herself because she's maybe starting to get worked up or something, and that's how she goes ahead and, you know, deflects and calms herself down and copes with the heat of what, you know, people are putting on her. What is your problem with Jessica X's message? I feel like she purposely caters to people who she really doesn't agree with, because when she actually tried to call out baby fathers and the fact that they leave their children fatherless, her entire audience switched on her. And I feel like that's something that she truly believes in, but can't speak about it because her audience has given her this persona and this image of perfection and coddling to egotistical, sad, lonely men who don't want to step up to the plate but want like super quality women. Like, they want a J-Lo, but they're a janitor, essentially, in a position that they won't. And in the process of validating their feelings, she berates Black women. That's my issue with her message. Another issue with her message is that in her most recent video specifically, which is what this video is about, she showcases abusive relationships, clearly highly abusive relationships, and uses that as her reasoning as to why Black women shouldn't or can't date out, because when they date out, they get the same type of men, essentially. Is her argument. But obviously, a woman who's in an abusive relationship is not going to. How do you know that about her subscriber? Because I lurk on her channel. What the hell? How do you think I know? I watch her. I'm watching her stuff. I watch all of these manosphere people, and I have multiple accounts to do so. So how do I know that about her subscribers? I watch them, and I watched the live stream in which she was talking about baby daddies and how they need to stop leaving their kids fatherless, and her entire audience berated her to the point where she actually deleted or privated the video because she couldn't lose that. That would take away her money. That would stop her flow of income. That would drop her subscribers. Her entire audience switched on her the moment that she started talking about some real stuff, the real issues in the Black community, because Black men don't want to talk about the real issues in the Black community. They'd rather make fun of the people in their community and then go cause problems in other people's communities. Are you one of her subscribers, Mr. Chris? So that's my issue with Jessica X. I feel like she doesn't actually believe a lot of the stuff that she says, but she has to continue she has to continue the narrative, or else it'll stop her entire flow. And maybe she does believe some of the stuff that she says, but regardless, she's not as unbiased as she tries to make it seem. Because if she was, she'd be playing both sides. And she'd be addressing the real issues that her subscribers have as to why they can't get a high-value man, or a high-value woman, sorry. Or a high-value man, shoot, I don't know. Alrighty. Yeah, answered all your questions. Is there any other questions that any of you guys have? I will more than gladly answer them. I'm really enjoying this live stream so far. It's going very good. And thank you to everyone who has joined so far. What percent of Black women who successfully date out? Are you asking what is the percentage of Black women who successfully date out? There's no statistics for, I guess, success. I mean, actually, let's look it up. There might be. Let's see. Let's see, because the last time that I checked a statistic similar to that, essentially it showed that Black women who are dating out actually have a lot less likely probability of getting a divorce. So let's see, what is this one? Trends and patterns in intermarriage. The problem with her is that she's not pro-Black and she makes money off of Sims. Yeah, she definitely does make money off of Sims, and she's not pro-Black at all. She has some sort of issue with the Black community. What it is, I'm not sure, but let's see if there's any. But yes, she isn't pro-Black at all. She's very much against interracial relationships, and I'm not even sure what her stance is on like all Black relationships. But modern dating as a Black woman in search of Black love, dating preferences among African Americans. Let's see this. It's a PDF. She found an untapped well of cash. It's not untapped. She just jumped on the bandwagon is what it is. So let's see. She's actually not married at all, and I'm not even actually sure if she's dating. And that's something that I really am curious about. Like, who are the types of people that you choose? Like, what about, who are the men that you usually go for? What are your experiences with these men? What's your longest relationship with men? Have you ever dated outside of your race? I mean, she's biracial, so I guess I'm not really sure. Like, how would you even word that? Like, have you dated outside your race, but you're biracial? Like, okay, this is a whole research essay. I wasn't looking for that. I just need the numbers. Please, if you guys could just give them to me. If we could just please. See, I'm very curious about like her dating patterns and the people who she interacts with. Because something that I will say, and one thing that I cannot remember who it was who pointed it out to me, but somebody pointed out the fact that during like a little bit of her earlier time on YouTube, she was talking about how like about the level up community, especially how she talked about like, oh, I see all these older men with younger women in bars and this place and that place and this place and that place, and someone was like, why do you hang out in those spaces? Like, if you're in bars where you see so many um age gap relationships, where you see a bunch of sugar babies and their sugar daddies, like, how do you know that that's basically the meetup spot for sugar babies and sugar daddies? Are you a sugar baby? And I thought it was a valid question. It's like, you have a lot of insight on the meetup places for sugar arrangements for someone who is mocking sugar arrangements and who seems to have a problem with women dating older, wealthy men. Like, you sure have a lot of insight on where these people spend their time. Are you one of these people? Which I have nothing against, but don't go talking crap about sugar babies and you're a sugar baby. Like, is really what it comes down to. You should email her. I'm not going to email her. I'm not really that into her to be trying to have discussions with her on her views. I'm just simply doing the same thing she does and responding. He said that's a revelation. It is. It is. So it's something to think about for someone who is so against leveling up and women who do so. She has a lot of insight on what these people do and where they spend their time and how these relationships work. So it's only so much before I start to question, are you also a sugar baby, or have you at one point been a sugar baby? Maybe not now. She's a little bit older. She's about like, what, 25, 26? So maybe she's not into the whole sugar baby game anymore. But nonetheless, you have a lot of information on something that you insinuate you take no part in. So, I mean, let's talk about a couple of other things that she talks about the age gap relationships, actually, because she also kind of co-signs with the fact that younger women are really checking. She failed at it. So she failed being a sugar baby. Probably did because she's so back and forth. She can't pick which side she's on. But let's talk about, how she talks about how younger women really are checking for these older men. Because as a 21-year-old woman, I'm not checking for no grown men like that. I'm really not. Have I dated older men? Yes. And I've said this on multiple live streams. I've dated older men, and I'm talking like 20 years older than me. I'm talking like grown, like much older than me men. And I liked some of them. Yes, I did. There was one guy, he was actually, I believe, in his 50s, but he did not look like it. And I was really attracted to him, and we went on a date, and it was really nice. It was just, he was a little bit too needy for me. But nonetheless, we went out on our date, and it was great, and I had a really good time. He showed me a really nice time. He treated me really great. And we talked for a little bit after that. It was just, like I said, I just couldn't really do the overly neediness. It was like he just needed me to talk to him like all the time. And I don't mind talking to the people who I'm in relationships with often, but it was just like, oh gosh, it was a little bit too much for me. So we had to kind of like cut it off. I think that he was looking for a little bit more of a attentive woman. And I'm not as attentive in the early stages as maybe some other women are. Like, I pay attention to my partners and my person of interest, but I'm by no means like all over them and always constantly wanting to talk to them. Like, it takes a while for me to get to that point of like, I want to talk to him all day. So yes, I've dated older men, and I very much enjoyed my relationships with those men, but they're not like often. They're not, like I date, like that's majority of who I pick. Those are the majority of the people who I'm seeking out when I'm on dates, or like when an older man approaches me, I'm super willing to give him my number. I'm not, I'm really not. I'm mostly interested in people in my general age. I think the oldest that I'd really truly be interested in, like really, like, looking for a relationship is at most like after the 8-year mark, like it starts to dwindle. The desire to be with them long term, and those feelings and those thoughts that I have with men my own age, they aren't the same. Like, I'm not looking at a 48-year-old man and just being like, oh my gosh, I would love to spend the rest of my life with him. Because in my mind, I'm like, how much time do I really have left with him? Like, how much time do I really have left with him? That's where my brain automatically goes like, bro, you're 50 years old. Like, I have 30 more years with you. Like, that's it at best. 30 years at best. Because the average lifespan is like, what, 70 something, 80? So I want someone my own age, and most younger women would agree. They want a woman their own age. Nobody wants no old man. I'm not checking for no wrinkly peepees. I'm sorry. I'm just simply not. My current boyfriend, he's actually younger than me. He only a year, but nonetheless, he's younger than me. Like, I'm not interested in men way older than me, nor am I interested in men way younger than me, but I'm not checking for nobody who's really not my age at the end of the day. And I think that it's something that a lot of men need to understand and accept. Like, It really is, like, especially in America. And if you want to talk about the other cultures and whatnot, they've been programmed to date older men because older men means more money. Don't go over there with your $50K a year and think that you're gonna get a woman. Actually, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the passport red pillars. That's something that I want to talk about. Oh goodness. Oh, I've got to use. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, give me like 10 seconds. Alrighty, guys, I am back. So yes, let's talk about the passport Patricks, who think that all their problems are going to be solved once they go to Brazil or Dominican Republic or whatever the heck. And think that they're gonna find a quality woman. I want to talk about this. Okay, so I'm trying to remember when it was. It was like sometime like last week, I think, though. And it was Bernard Riley, who I actually really like. I like Bernard Riley a lot. And who else? Oh, Obsidian. It was Obsidian. And they were talking, and in this live stream, Truck, can you be quiet? I'm talking. Essentially, in this live stream, the way I heard it at least, was that he'd be willing to go to Dominican Republic and buy a single mother more for his money. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because we all know that red pill YouTube's favorite thing to do is degrade women, or to degrade women who do like OnlyFans or sugar babies, level up women, basically any woman looking for a bag. And instead of, paying a woman here in the United States, they'd rather go to poverty-stricken countries, or poverty-stricken areas. Sorry, let me specify, because every place in a country is not poor. So they would rather go to poverty-stricken areas, get women whose standards of living are very low. You literally just heard me say this man would go buy a woman a stove. Basically, he would go get a woman in the slums of Dominican Republic or wherever he chooses to go and fund her and her son's lifestyle because he would get more for his money. I'm sorry, does this just sound like he's looking for a cheaper prostitute? Or does it look like he's looking for a woman who actually... Ooh, sorry, goodness gracious. Whole voice just went out. Or does it sound like this man is looking for a quality woman to spend the rest of his life with? Looking for a woman who just values me and appreciates me and doesn't only want me for my money. I hear I'm willing to go buy a woman in a whole nother country a stove and a house and a car because she'll give me more sex. She'll be willing to do more for me. Like, duh, she'll be willing to do more for you. She's poor. She's poor. She doesn't have a stove. She doesn't have a car. And she lives in a not so great house. Like, you're taking advantage of poverty-stricken women. Like, you're not looking for a high-value woman. You're looking for a woman that you can control. You're looking for a woman who, when she pisses you off, you can say, I bought you that stove. I could take it back to IKEA right now. You're looking for a woman who essentially will kiss the ground you walk on because she has no choice. She has no choice but to. Because you have bought her all of her necessities. Had she had those necessities, though, you know she wouldn't be checking for you. You know she wouldn't be like so overly zealous and excited to be with you. So don't give me the bullshit and make it seem like, oh, like I go to these other countries because these women actually respect me. No, you go to those other countries because you don't respect them. You go to those countries because you're looking for an ego boost. You want to be a savior. And you want to be able to hold that over them for the rest of their lives. That I got you out of that poverty-stricken country. I took you away from all of that. And they'll say this over little things too. Like you gave them a little bit of attitude. Or you didn't clean the house. Or maybe they're just not treating you very nicely and you're calling them out for it. They will turn around and be like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even be here right now. You'd still be poor in blah, blah, blah country that I brought you from, drinking water from blah, blah, would really degrade them the same way that they would degrade us here in the United States. Because it has nothing to do with the quality of women. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with, oh, these women are programmed to be submissive. That's because their parents are trying to get them out of poverty. So they've told their daughters, do whatever it takes to get out of here. And that's why a lot of these women end up in horrible, horrible situations, end up getting killed sometimes by their partners, end up getting taken away from their family and never being able to speak to them again. They leave those men as soon as they get the green card. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't, though. A lot of these women sometimes end up staying with these men because, like I said, that all that is dangling over their head. I brought you to this country. I did this for you. I did that for you. And there's also a lot of limits with that green card. Like if you try to, America, they're as anti-immigration as they're starting to become. They don't actually even hand out green cards right away. Like you get married and then you have to wait sometimes up to a year to actually receive your green card. And in that year, who knows what these women are suffering with? Who knows what the hell these men are putting them through? That whole year that they're waiting for the green card. And sometimes, yeah, they do get the green card and leave, but they've had children with this man now. So even if they do get a green card, I'm still stuck to you because I have a child with you. I mean, I don't know. It is disturbing and it's really unfortunate because they try to play it off like it's something so sweet and innocent and like it has no malintent. But him saying that and people in the comments validating it and essentially like, yeah, I get more for my money. Like, I know that if I buy her a stove, she's going to give up the punani. I know that if I give her this and this and this and this and this, she's going to cook for me when I ask her to. And she's going to do what I tell her to do. And she's going to listen to me and she's going to submit to me because she has no other choice. If she stops doing these things, you won't give her money anymore because you know that's you're paying for sex. Like you can find cheap escorts in America, okay? You can find cheap sex. If that's all you're looking for is sex. There's plenty of beautiful women on all these little back page sites who have reasonable prices, honey. There's options, okay? There's too many options for you to go from, oh, since I can't get what I want for essentially free here in America, let me go to another country where American money and American status is really worshipped and go and get my validation there since I can't get the validation here in America. Which is like, I mean, I guess like if like you're looking for a woman and you just feel like you can't find it here, maybe go to another country. I don't know. But I was talking to my fiance about this, and I asked him like how do you feel about like these passport guys who I asked my man how he felt about these passport people who go to other countries and get other women, and he basically said, I think that a lot of it comes from the stuff that they hear online, that they see online, porn, forums, places like here on YouTube where they glamorize the life in other countries. Excuse me. And also, what was his other reason? Oh, he said like maybe they just wanted an excuse to leave anyway, like maybe because I talk a lot about how I want to move to another country and get out of America, and he's like maybe, you know, he already wanted to leave America, and after his last heartbreak, he was like, screw it, I'm going to the Dominican Republic, you know, and women was just like his scapegoat essentially. And they were some interest, you know, I didn't really think about it in that way. I thought like, you know, how I was thinking about it, like how I said now, like essentially you're just trying to find a cheaper escort. Like you're just trying to find a cheaper way to get sex. But the notion that, you know, they're leaving and going to these other countries based on what they've heard online and what they see in the media and in porn and stuff, like that was actually a really valid point, and something that once he said it actually really made sense for me, because how much they talk about the sex and what they can gain from doing these things for women in other countries. So I'm glad that I asked him that, and I'm glad that he, you know, gave me his insight on that, because I couldn't really I couldn't really make it make sense in my head why, like, what is driving these men to go there? Like, and he said heartbreak and social media. And that's why I think that a lot of these spaces are dangerous, because they don't really know what they're getting into when they go to these countries. Like, go to Honduras and try to find a woman if you want to. Her brother will probably kill you and her both. In Honduras, a woman is killed almost every 26 hours. That is once a day. A woman gets murdered in Honduras. But you want to go there and find a woman. Like, my grandma didn't leave Honduras for no reason. She left it because if it's like that now, imagine how bad it was when my grandma left in the 30s and 40s. Imagine how horrifying life probably was for my grandma in Honduras. Probably terrible. And that's why her and her mom and her sisters up and dipped. Up and left. Her mom, her dad, her cousins dipped, left, gone, and have not been back since. My grandma doesn't visit Honduras. The whole time she was alive, she never went back to Honduras, ever. Not a single time. She went to Barcelona. She went to Hawaii. My grandma never set foot back in South America when she left. Imagine why. Can you think? Because it's violent and horrifying for women out there. So yeah, when someone from the Americas goes down there and starts to date them, yeah, they're gonna be with you because they're trying to avoid getting murdered by the cartel and by these men who will kill women for as little as 60 American dollars. That's the woman who you want to be with? No, she's running. She's trying to escape because she could be next, okay? Let's talk about the reality of these countries. Y'all try to glamorize it, and my family is from South America. Like, if anyone knows my culture, if anyone knows the culture, it's me. If anyone who knows the culture is other Hispanic women. I mean, I'm still black at the end of the day, but Afro-Latina, I guess, is the term that you would call me as, because my grandmother's black too. She was just raised in Honduras. And also, something that a lot of people don't know is that the majority of African slave ships were actually sent to South America and the Central Americas, not the United States. So for anyone who wants to try to invalidate my blackness and my position in this, I'm still fully black. Hispanic is a culture. So for my sisters, said, how can men who can't even keep their driver's license straight afford to go overseas? Gaslighting, pure and simple. No, for real. Driving their girlfriend's cars, suspended licenses, no insurance, but want to go to Dominican Republic and get a girl, get a wife. Second you get pulled over, the police already know who you are. Sir, why are you in the driver's seat? You know you're not supposed to be driving. Every cop in the city knows who you are. That's a dang shame, no? DMV knows you but the second you pull into the parking lot. Woo. Ciao. So yeah, these passport dudes, it's really deceptive and disgusting the way that they get down and their thought processes. But that's why I'm here to talk about it, and that's why I really just wanted to have a discussion about it, because I feel like a lot of people aren't really willing to call these people out. And like, do you not hear how gross you sound saying that you'd rather buy a woman in the Dominican Republic a stove for sex than just simply take care of things in America for the woman who you're with? Like, they've convinced themselves somehow that every single woman in existence who is a natural born American is like some like super hateful, super like manipulative person, and like that we're just all evil and out to get people. And really, it's them who are manipulative and going out of their way like to trick people and do things like, you know, in a very strange way. Very strange. It baffles me. It really does. How the logic adds up for them. It's okay for them to go to other countries and get a man, but a woman simply says that she wants to travel to another like country, not even move to one to get a man, but just to go visit. And they automatically assume, oh, she's going to Barcelona so she could go on a little hoe trip with her girls. Isn't that why you go to Jamaica and Dominican Republic? To go have a little hoe trip? Like, what the fuck? It blows my mind. It blows my mind. The double standards and the hypocrisy. It just, oh my gosh, it blows my mind. And I can't get with it. So yeah, that's how I feel about Jessica X. That's how I feel about all her subscribers. I don't know if you guys have any other topics that you guys want me to touch on or speak on. Go ahead and just drop them, because it'd be nice to keep talking, but I've really nothing too much else to speak on. I've made pretty much all my points, it looks like. So yeah, if you guys have anything else that you guys want me to talk about, touch on, go ahead and let me know. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. And while we're waiting for maybe some more questions, I would like to reiterate again that I run a beauty and lifestyle subscription box called the Foxy Box. It is a monthly subscription box filled with beauty, skincare, Bath and Body accessories, and also like hair, and outfit accessories, such as sunglasses, headbands, hairpins. And if any of that interests you, please check out thefoxybox.co, and check out the website, see if you'd like anything. We launch April 17th, 2021, but you can pre-order your box. Let me see if there's any more questions that possibly I didn't respond to. And somebody said a little bit earlier he needs a training. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and end my live stream here. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. It was so nice to hear so many more opinions and just to talk about this stuff. And I will either be back later on today with another video, or actually I probably will be on in a couple more hours with a new video. So if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe. It was so much fun talking with all you guys, and I will be back later with another video with part 2, actually, or with the full version, sorry, of She's Not a Gold Digger, You're Just Poor, a live stream that I started about a couple weeks ago and then forgot to come back on and speak on. So I will be making the full version of She's Not a Gold Digger, You're Just Poor later on today, and we'll be going live with that. So definitely check back in a few hours, and I will see you guys in the next one. Alrighty, have a good night or a good day.